Dreamworld, the scam Kickstarter MMO that got funded for just over $60,000. Proof that desperate naive players will throw money at anyone confident enough to straight up lie to them about the quality of game they're capable of making. The game has now been funded, but the story hasn't ended. If anything, it's gotten even more complex. There's now more people involved and some harsh truths have risen to the surface. So let's dig a little more and see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Hayes. The scam MMORPG Dreamworld has been funded to the tune of $65,000 over 663 backers, and since the project has finished, new revelations and new accusations have come to light. Now, I'm not a drama channel, I have no intention of becoming one, but the successful funding of Dreamworld will have long-lasting repercussions for the kickstarted MMORPG landscape. Crowdfunding for games has allowed us to experience some fantastic games that otherwise wouldn't have been made, and if venture capitalists, if future investors begin to see every potential MMORPG as a scam, then we will be robbed of any potential future game we could have had before it even gets off the ground. Now, I've made a video on this already and I suggest you go back and watch that for context, but if you're clued up on the current state of the Dreamworld MMORPG fiasco, then let's see what's happened next. If you're interested in the MMORPG genre, consider dropping a like on the video or subscribing to the channel. Ring the bell so you don't miss a single future video. As always, a massive thank you to my supporters on Patreon and Twitch who allow me to remain independent and do what I do. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. On April 19th, the Dreamworld Kickstarter ended, reaching 650% of its original goal. The developers, and I'm using that term extremely loosely, I should rather just say people who bought things on the Unreal Store, released this update video, where they thanked people for being a part of the Dreamworld project and gave a timeline of 1 year with updates every Friday until the alpha stage would begin. Along with this, if you want access to the alpha, you not only need to join the Kickstarter or support them, but you need to convince 2 other people to do so as well. So access to a playable alpha of this game is literally a pyramid scheme, and they're not even trying to hide it. The process of rewarding people based on how many other people you sign up is a multi-level marketing scam. You're not even being subtle about it anymore. They then say in the video they've had a lot of people say that what they're building is fantastic. Just have a watch.
Yeah, and we had a lot of people tell us that what they think we're building is fantastical and incredible, and for anyone who's skeptical, just stick around, and we'd love to have you in our community.
Yeah, if you're not already, join the Discord, the link's down in the description.
And then they asked me to join the Discord. So, okay, I will. Because I was in the Discord previously, and then I left because I wanted to check something, and yep, it is as I thought. Previously, before this got a load of attention, joining the Discord was super easy. It was an open public channel with all invite links joining you up directly, but now they've heavily locked it down. You are first taken to a verification room where you must run the verify command, but you cannot type anything in the verify channel until you've been there for 10 minutes. You need to wait 10 minutes before you can begin the process of joining. Running the verify command means you must then log in through a social media or video game account. You cannot just join through having a Discord. You need to connect to an external social media verification page to join in, because apparently they're having a lot of spam. And my Discord account, when I attempt to verify, has been manually flagged up as suspicious. I guess they really didn't appreciate the first video. So I run the verification process twice using my Reddit account, but I still don't have access to the server. Then I spot a small disclaimer saying they're having problems with the bot, so I guess we've just got to wait. Back on the Kickstarter video, it says I can go to the website, so I pop on over to have a look. It looks exactly the same. There's a landing page with an autoplay video in the background and a privacy policy link to the bottom left. That's about it. But I received a message on Discord saying if you manually change the address in the address bar to include /pages/about us, you can find a hidden page not accessible from any hyperlink on the main page. So I gave it a go, and it is real. It shows the Discord icons of both developers, Wolf and Garble. The bios aren't written, it literally says coming soon, and they describe themselves as one superstar ex-Google engineer and one serial entrepreneur. So let's look into that some more. Over on Reddit, we can find a thread on r/shitty Kickstarters about Dreamworld with a user by the name of Mr. Throwaway41. In it, they're talking about Garrison Balak, the superstar ex-Google engineer. Remember, we found his LinkedIn profile listing many one-year-long tech jobs. The comment then reads, "Garrison and I went to Michigan together. He was perhaps the most narcissistic person I had ever met, and that is saying something considering the school we attended. We worked on the solar car together, and he always thought he was the top shit and knew everything. He thought his skill set was so impressive he could use it as an excuse to sexually harass the females on our team. He was kicked off the solar car team. I hope no one has to ever work with that asshole in their lives. He will bullshit his way through life, and unfortunately gullible people will buy into it because he is way too good at it. Turn away, people, don't touch anything with his name on it." In response to this Reddit comment, another user by the name of Throwaway Garrison states, "I also went to Michigan with Garrison. Please take a look at this." Then they link his LinkedIn profile. They then continue and state, "He refers to himself as a superstar ex-Google engineer in the Kickstarter. In reality, he was an intern at Google for a single summer. Same with Facebook." It's important to remember that these are unsubstantiated Reddit claims from anonymous sources and cannot be taken as guaranteed facts, but when combined with the later personality proof, it does seem to fit. More searching around on Reddit and Google leads us down the claim of $500,000 in funding secured from other investment firms. Remember in the original video, the Dreamworld team state they had a large amount of money in the hundreds of thousands from Silicon Valley's top investors. And the Kickstarter was simply to gauge interest, not necessarily to fund the project. But over on the Y Combinator page, the startup-focused venture capital company they're associated with, Y Combinator clearly states they invest $125,000 a year into a large number of startups, and we can find this thread on the Y Combinator news discussion forum dissecting how the Dreamworld pitch is completely unrealistic from a technical standpoint. However, the money is often given based on the strength of the individual doing the pitch, not the idea itself. And as we know that both developers are known for being skilled manipulators, this seems possible. So if these people have actual connections with the people involved, we are beginning to get a sense of the kind of people we're dealing with. And this is the moment when another completely unconnected YouTuber, someone called Smilin' Island, gets involved. And I'll be showing you her channel in a second and explaining why she's involved in this whole fiasco. But to understand her part in this, we need to go back and examine the original pitch video for Dreamworld on Kickstarter.
In March 2020, I was living with my fiance in New York City, and we were in our first apartment and struggling to pursue our aspirations there together. The prior 7 months, I was applying to at least 10 new jobs every day, and then suddenly, at the end of January, an incredible opportunity wanted to hire me. And the start date was March 17th. And March 15th, COVID hit New York City, and I lost my job as a waiter, and this opportunity rescinded their offer. And my fiance left me soon after. So I moved back in with my parents in California and began turning my life around. My best friend, Gary, a workaholic programmer, started calling me every day to try and cheer me up. And one of the times we were talking, I said, hey, why don't we just make the game we've always wanted to play? We got so excited that I made a Discord channel, and within the...
So in the video, we discover Zachary Kaplan was living and working in New York with his fiancée. They were both struggling to make ends meet. COVID hit, things got worse. He lost his job, then his fiancée left him, and he suddenly decided, hey, let's make the best MMORPG of all time. Except that's not entirely true, and now we get a separate viewpoint of the situation, because Zachary's ex-fiancée is a professional dancer, model, and YouTuber under the name Smilin' Island. And while they may not be a massive YouTuber, they are an extremely successful model. This only came to light, however, when screenshots of private conversations between them were leaked in the Dreamworld Discord before it went all difficult to get into. And Kira TV used some of these private screenshots in his Dreamworld expose video, involving Island in the whole situation. Now, it's extremely important to remember that Kira TV found these screenshots of conversations on the Dreamworld Discord, which at the time was a publicly accessible Discord with absolutely no security checks around it. It is now known that permission was not given for those conversations to be shared, which is why I'm not showing them. But I do not believe that Kira TV acted maliciously in any way. Had he have known those conversations were not meant to be shared, I have no doubt he would not have used them. Kira TV has since made an apology comment on Smile on Island's video update, which does seem to have been accepted, so I don't believe he is in any way in the wrong for what he has done. He acted in the best faith. With Island now involved, we can pop over to her YouTube channel and have a look as she explains what her feelings around this whole thing are. First of all, Smile on Island seems like an absolutely genuine person and has some really enjoyable YouTube content, so she's definitely worth following. But now let's look at this Dreamworld video specifically. In this 23-minute rebuttal, Island is not bothered about focusing on Dreamworld, she's bothered about explaining her point of view in regards to the relationship she had with Zachary. Island explains they weren't struggling quite as much as Zachary claims, and in fact, she was doing remarkably well. Her modelling career was taking off, she was being flown around the world to red carpet events, and had billboards of her up in various places. Then COVID hit and Zachary did indeed lose his job, which caused him to move in with her parents for 5 months, where he performed odd jobs around the house for small amounts of pay. She then explains the Dreamworld project was being worked on for weeks before the breakup happened. It wasn't simply a snap decision of, I've lost my job, let's make a game. It was a project with many hours and weeks of groundwork already done. Island then explains the many reasons the engagement was broken off, and I completely believe her. There are many reasons for a relationship to end, and I think she does a very good job of remaining impartial and explaining all of them. I do find it somewhat ironic that Island did not want to be dragged into the Dreamworld fiasco, and unfortunately this video is now the 5th most viewed video on her YouTube channel. She will now be known not only as a model, but a model connected to Dreamworld. At 16 minutes in, she accuses Zachary of emotional manipulation. Now, I'd recommend you watch the entire video on her channel so she can get her side of the story out, because she deserves the views, but let's take that emotional angle back to the original Kickstarter pitch. Zachary opens the pitch literally 2 minutes in with what we refer to as emotional marketing, appealing to the audience's sympathy with relationships. It is a perfect woe is me story. He explains how he lost his job, then he lost his fiancée, he has nothing to do, and so this game is his savior, his lifeline, and using this single-minded focus, he is going to make it better than any other game in existence. Except no, he won't. This is another example of an extreme sociopath and emotional manipulation within what seems like a long string of emotional manipulation and general narcissistic behavior tendencies. Vastly overestimating your own worth and using your own extreme confidence to play on the insecurities of others to achieve what you want to achieve by promising the unpromisable. Zachary Kaplan and Garrison Bellick are what seems to be two guys with history of extreme sociopathic and narcissistic tendencies. They vastly overestimate their own abilities while having no actual proof that they are capable of producing anywhere near what they are claiming they're capable of, while also disrespecting and putting other people within their teams down. Zachary using his breakdown of his relationship to Smile on Island as an advertising ploy is deplorable. It's unfortunate that a relationship ends. It always is. There's always multiple reasons for it ending. But to use the emotional manipulation tactic of I've lost my job and now my partner as a way to enhance your own sales, that doesn't inspire confidence in you as a developer in any way. You might get a couple of dollars from people who have recently been dumped thrown towards you, but you're not going to get anyone who's taking video game design seriously look at that statement and think, yes, this is what I'm here for. The most likely outcome of this whole mess, I genuinely believe, will be the two guys involved, Zachary and Garrison, falling out with each other. Because that's what happens when you put two people with extremely strong personalities in charge, or joint in charge, of a project. Both of them will believe they're smarter than the other. Both of them will believe the reason their project succeeds is entirely because of them. Or, when it inevitably fails, both of them will blame the other. They will throw the other person under the bus so quickly it will make your head spin. Neither of them will want to admit that it's a scam, and neither of them will want to admit, if they genuinely believe this is a real thing they're doing, that it was their fault. It failed. None of them will take responsibility for a failure, which is what this ultimately will be. I don't want to make any more videos on this until they have an actual product. If Dreamworld ever comes out, which it won't, I will make an update video, I will apologise, I will play the game, and I will give genuine, honest, unbiased feedback. But until then, let's just sit back and wait and see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you think about this entire fiasco. Are you eagerly awaiting Dreamworld releasing, or are you just here for the continued drama? Again, a big thank you to my supporters on Patreon and Twitch who make all my content possible. You can support the Patreon from only £1 a month. Check the description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord, which is much easier to get into. And as always, have a great day.